Hello and welcome into tonight's CLNS Media Patriots Roundtable. I am your host tonight, Nick Qualia, with Mike Molyneux per usual. But like we said on yesterday's Roundtables, it's a special week, Super Bowl week. Again, the Patriots' third straight Super Bowl, which means we got our guys down on Radio Row in Atlanta at the Super Bowl. Tonight we are joined by Alex Barth down at Radio Row in Atlanta. Alex, what's up?
Welcome to Atlanta, where the players play. How's it going, guys?
This is like the Red Sox roundtables.
Yeah, this is a throwback right here.
This is Mike. I don't know if you've seen the Red Sox roundtables from last year at the beginning of the season, but a lot of times, even when they were just audio beforehand, but a lot of times they just ended up with me and Alex yelling at each other and nonsense. There were some wild ones. Where there was no conversation. It was just us screaming at each other. So, maybe this one turns into that, but who knows? So let's dive into it.
All right.
The Patriots, something that they've been really good at no matter who they play. It's always been Bill Belichick's mantra. They are great at taking away the best weapon on the team, whether that's offense or defense of their opponent. Okay, so when you play the Houston Texans, a lot of people all week, J.J. Watt, you got to neutralize J.J. Watt. Seems like every time the Patriots play the Houston Texans, J.J. Watt doesn't exist. So that's the question. What do the Patriots have to do? Who do the Patriots have to neutralize? Let's start defensively if they want to win Super Bowl 53. Alex, we'll start with you.
Who does the Patriots defense have to neutralize?
Who does the Patriots defense have to neutralize on the Rams offense?
So I'm going to take kind of a cop-out with this answer. I'm just going to say the running back, whoever it is, right? There's some conversation about who's going to get the bulk of the carries for the Rams, whether it's Todd Gurley or C.J. Anderson. I will say whoever it is, the Patriots need to take the running game away. Jared Goff, I think there's a good chance this moment is too big for him. Today at his press conference, 90% of the questions were about Tom Brady. Last night he was asked about Tom Brady and about facing Bill Belichick. I think this is starting to get to him a little bit. If the Patriots can force him to go out and win the game, like they did Nick Foles last year, I don't think Jared Goff has that kind of performance in him. Now, we didn't really think Nick Foles did, but when you look back at it, it sort of made sense. Jared Goff is playing with really a lot to lose when Nick Foles had nothing to lose, and he's still very new to this moment where Nick Foles had been through a couple of big games before. If the Patriots can take away the running game and really put this game in Jared Goff's hands, it's going to be a huge service to them.
Mike, what do you have to say? Who do the Patriots have to attack on the Rams offensive side of the ball if they want to win this game on Sunday?
I'm with Alex 100%. I definitely feel as if Todd Gurley, even though he didn't really show up and be the Todd Gurley we've used to seeing throughout the course of the season since he's been in the NFL, I feel like he is very talented and has that big game, DNA inside of him where he could just really turn up and go off against any defense that's put in front of him. And it's the same situation here against the Patriots in the Super Bowl. And I feel like the Patriots need to make sure that they don't get the Todd Gurley who, even if it's in his short career, he's been an MVP candidate. Last year, if it wasn't for Wentz getting hurt and Tom Brady continuing to be very dominant, Todd Gurley was right there as an MVP candidate. This year, he had a pretty similar season, very good, and obviously towards the tail end of the season in the playoffs, he wasn't really the same. But yes, it's a big game. The moment is huge. We just talked about how it's huge for Goff, but the moment's huge for Gurley too. But this is a guy who is a very talented, probably the second or best running back in the NFL. So that's the guy that the Patriots must neutralize in order to contain big yardage that he can usually pick up.
I've got to show Evan that take because he's been saying all week that Todd Gurley is one of the most overrated players in the NFL. That's kind of been his sticking point.
He wanted Todd Gurley on the banner.
I know. And I Goff and Tom Brady for that off the air. And you can kind of see the monitors blocking. You can sort of see Goff here. But yeah, I agree with you. I think that Gurley, there may be certain aspects of his game that are overrated. He's an elite running back in the NFL. And if the Patriots can't take him away, the Rams are going to be able to do whatever they want offensively. And C.J. Anderson hasn't been bad either. If it's Anderson, he has a history against the Patriots. You go back to the overtime game in the snow in Denver, in that playoff game. I know it's different personnel, but he's killed the Patriots in the past too.
He has, but I've brought up C.J. Anderson a couple times now over the past couple of weeks. like I've said multiple times, if it comes down to CJ Anderson as the Rams running back, I'm feeling good if I'm a Patriots fan.
But we said that when he was in Denver, and that's not what happened.
But the difference is this guy's overweight and fat now. He's openly admitted it. He said that when he was cut for, the second time this season, he started eating. He said January 1st, he's going to get back into game shape, get back onto a team next year. Next thing you know, ring, ring, the Rams are giving this guy a call. He's like, oh, no, I'm fat. I'm a fat running back. He's been okay. He was. I think he's getting a little too overhyped for that Saints game in the NFC Championship because his numbers weren't great. But I'm not an overweight running back right now. I'm not too worried about CJ Anderson. Before I give you my real answer, though, about who the Patriots have to take away from the Rams offense, guys, you know what we're doing here. The big game is here, baby. The New England Patriots and the LA Rams are ready to rock. Are you? Get your game on for Super Bowl Sunday with betonline.ag. Go to clnsmedia.com/win and use the promo code CLNS for a 50% sign-up bonus. That is CLNS as the promo code. betonline.ag, your online sports book experts. All right, I'm going to stay away from the running backs here, though, on who I think the Patriots have to take away for the Rams offensively. I was trying to decide between the two receivers because I think that's important. And I chose Robert Woods. And I chose Robert Woods because of the Patriots' familiarity with Brandon Cooks. They both have great numbers this year. Both, I believe, up over 1,000 yards. Robert Woods led the team receiving this year. Quite frankly, I think Robert Woods actually is a little undersold as a Rams receiver. I think he's a great receiver. I think he's a very talented receiver. I think he's a very dangerous receiver. But I think if the Patriots take him away, Brandon Cooks, from what we saw last year, and I'll even give it this year too, Brandon Cooks, his specialty is the big play, which are less likely to happen. If you take away if you take away Robert Woods and you make him throw to Brandon Cooks, he's a big play guy. So it's less likely that they're going to happen over and over. Sure, one or two might happen that sting, but I'm not going to be too concerned if you have to throw to Brandon Cooks. And if you're forcing I keep wanting to say Jared Cook, the tight end for the Raiders. Jared Goff.
A Ram, to be fair.
If you make Jared Goff have to focus on or take away one of his best receivers and then focus on his other receivers in the Super Bowl lights where we don't know how he's going to perform, I think that's not only going to take away a weapon, I think that's going to shake his confidence a little bit. So I think that's going to be a major key for this game is to take away Robert Woods, or I'll even give you Brandon Cooks too. Just take away one of those top two targets.
And ultimately, that's what this game's about, Nick. You hit it on the head. Whether it's stopping the run or taking away a receiver, which the Patriots will do some of both, it's about getting Jared Goff uncomfortable. And that's what cost them last year is Nick Foles never got uncomfortable. He lived in that moment. He embraced that moment. Will Goff do the same this year if the Patriots kind of get under his skin? I don't think he can. So that's what it's ultimately going to come down to.
Yeah, I think that too. And I think that he lives and dies under what Sean McVay says. So if you shake him a little bit, take him off the Sean McVay game plan, I think that's going to be a huge factor for this game. All right, switch it over. What do the Patriots have to do to take away the Rams defense? We know what the Rams defense is all about, big-time pass rush, but what do the Patriots have to neutralize on the Rams defensive side if they want to win this game on Sunday? Mike, we'll start with you.
This is a game right here that, it's kind of a flashback moment because, in all honesty, the main aspect of the Rams defense that everybody's been talking about is the pass rush. Their pass rush is dangerous with Ndamukong Suh, with Donald up there as one of the best defensive ends in the league. You look back in the history of Super Bowls that the Patriots have lost, they've dealt with pretty good pass rush. The Eagles had a solid pass rush.
07 Super Bowl.
The New York Giants, my goodness, Tom Brady, even though he was the NFL MVP in 07. The way the pass rush came at him in that first Super Bowl against the Giants, I've always said this over and over again. I don't care who you are as a quarterback, Brady, Manning, Montana, Breeze. It doesn't matter who you are. If a team has a solid pass rush and can throw you off your game and put you on your behind, it's going to be a long day for any team. So in this instance, in this year, in this case, the pass rush from the Rams, the Patriots, Dante Starnecchia has to do, the greatest coaching job of his career in this game because this pass rush is very dangerous. That offensive line is going to have a lot. They're going to have their work cut out for them because these guys can really wreak havoc. The Patriots are going to have to slow, and I only can say slow, and I use that term very loosely, try to slow those guys up front down as much as possible, because if not, I know Brady, is still one of the best in the league, but at 41 years old, you're getting popped by Ndamukong Suh, and we know how he plays the game. And Donald, it could be a long day for Tom Brady in the pocket.
And yeah, you mentioned those two, Suh and Donald. That's what it's all about, both in the running game and the passing game. We've seen the Patriots early in games this year. They struggle when they get behind the sticks on first and second down. The Patriots cannot afford a lot of negative first downs on the ground and incompletions on first and second and long. Now, some of it is natural. A lot's been talked about this week with Tom Brady's release time, how quick he's getting the ball out, and that helps offset that pass rush, Donald and Suh and on the edge with Fowler, despite what the offensive line does. But as they said, even when the ball's getting out quick, you still got to block these guys. And then on the interior against the run as well, they need to take those guys away on early downs. And early in the game, this is the key for me. We've seen this with Ndamukong Suh before. Yeah, we know he's feisty, and feisty's probably putting it very politely.
Kind of a D-bag.
But he doesn't like, he can give it, but he can't take it. He doesn't like getting hit back. You remember a couple of years ago when he was in Miami, second play of the game, the Patriots ran a fullback wham right at him. James Devlin blew him up right in the middle of the play, and he disappeared from the rest of the game. James Devlin, David Andrews, Shaq Mason, Joe Tooney. These guys need to get in his face, be mean back, put him on his ass a couple of times, and let him know that he doesn't want any of this smoke. And if they get in his face and put his ass on the turf a couple of times early, in the regular season, we've seen him tap out in that situation. Now, this is the Super Bowl. It might be different, but it can't hurt to try. They need to double team Aaron Donald, and then whoever's one-on-one with Ndamukong Suh needs to take a very physical approach early on in the game with him. And then if they can open up the middle, we've seen how important Sony Michel has been to this team in the playoffs. Sony could be in for a huge day if they get that middle open. But that's a huge if when you have maybe the greatest defensive lineman of a generation lurking inside.
That's what you got to do. You just got to pop them. And with the way it goes unheralded.
You can't do that with Donald because he will beat you.
With Suh.
Beat you if you try to do that, right.
With Suh. And, and I'll say that because I was going to directly hit on Suh too, because you're right. Suh's shown it multiple times. He shuts down. When he's not feeling it, when he's not feeling good, he shuts down. He's not, quite frankly, he's not a New England Patriot, because that's not what happens to the Patriots. You can't just shut down mid-game. So if you can take James Devlin, who's been an unheralded hero of the postseason, and I'll even give it the regular season too, and you just pop this guy, a couple of times,
right?
I think that's going to be an absolute game changer. Another reason why you have to focus on Suh, though, keep this guy away from Tom Brady at all times. I don't care if the play ends. I don't want him anywhere near him. If the pocket collapses, you double team him. You take the sack from Aaron Donald, because Aaron Donald's not going to get up and step on Tom Brady's arm, step on Tom Brady's leg. I'd rather take a sack than have Ndamukong Suh anywhere near the guy, especially post-play, because that guy is an absolute D-bag.
It's so crazy that I actually can sit down with all seriousness and feel as if, Ndamukong Suh can hurt Tom Brady. He's the type of player that will get an extra kick in or a step in after a play. And he might feel more inclined to do it because it's the Super Bowl and he knows he's facing Tom Brady and wants to possibly take him out the game with a light injury or a deep cut or something. And Ndamukong Suh is as dirty as it comes. And I mean, like you said, Nick, you got to keep that guy as far away from Tom Brady as possible, because he will look to get an advantage in any type of dirty, nasty way.
Yeah. Keep Ndamukong Suh far away from Tom Brady. And listen, I heard this for years when this guy was playing for the Lions. Oh, but he's such a good guy off of the field. I don't give a damn.
He gave me a bizarre answer last night talking about his college teammate, Rex Burkhead. He said the two were cordial. I'm not sure he knows what that term means. And then he seemed very upset that he wasn't allowed to hit Burkhead as hard as he wanted in practice. So, and that's up on the CLNS YouTube page. You can check that out. It's just sort of a bizarre statement to make, but I thought it was a great, look inside the mind of who he is. This guy was his teammate, but he was more concerned with hitting the running back. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and what I was saying was, this guy, people have made excuses, oh, he's such a nice guy. I don't give a damn. You just stop being a dirty player. He stepped on Aaron Rodgers before. The guy will take whatever shot. And Mike, you're right. This is the Super Bowl. This guy feels so inclined. If he tries to take out Tom Brady at the start of the game, I mean, you guys know the Patriots aren't winning the Super Bowl with Brian Hoyer, so you just got to keep this guy far, far away from Tom Brady. All right, Alex, any last words?
How about a special teams player to keep an eye on? Of course, it's Johnny Hekker. Is there a chance he throws a fourth down punt? That could be killer for the Patriots. Last week, we were actually talking to some of the special teams guys. Matthew Slater, who was a safety in college, said he's been brushing up on his coverage skills. The over-under, you can check this out on betonline.ag. The over-under for players to throw a pass in this game is 2.5. And I asked Hekker about that last night. He just sort of laughed, but don't rule that out. Matthew Slater interception, don't rule that out either.
Oh, I wonder if that's a bet. I haven't even checked that one out. If that's a bet, lay it down. Lay it down.
I'm telling you, I am in on over 2.5 players throw a pass because you have Hekker. The Patriots could do something weird. Cordero Patterson still hasn't thrown a pass this year, and I feel like we're due. You think maybe the Rams try the Philly special, rub something in. I love the over 2.5 players throwing a pass in this game.
Hey, get a little bet action in on the show. I like it. Mike,
I'm a company man. What can I say?
Mike.
You know, it's crazy that Alex says all of that because I've honestly felt in the last couple of days, because of Sean McVay and him being such a young coach and, you know, the young gunslingers coming up in the Super Bowl, I feel as if they're going to pull out a lot of trickery in this game. They're going to do some trick plays, whether it's, you know, the punter making a pass or whatever. I feel we're going to see something come from the Rams that's going to be out of the ordinary, out of the usual, just to kind of see and feel like, oh, we won up Tom Brady, we won up Bill Belichick and their coaching staff. I feel that is coming. So I can see why, you know, the over and under for the player making a pass is where it's at, because I certainly feel like it's definitely possible.
All right, guys, that is it for tonight's CLNS Media Patriots Roundtable. I'm your host, Nick Qualia, sitting here with Alex Barth, making his debut for this year's set, CLNS Media Patriots Roundtables at least, and Mike Molyneux. Guys, per usual, Mike Molyneux, Marv is on. They have done the Patriots post-game show after every game this year. You think that's going to change for the Super Bowl? Absolutely not. Make sure you check that out right after the Super Bowl. And Alex, of course, down at Radio Row in Atlanta, getting ready for Super Bowl 53. Catch up with all the content. Follow him on Instagram, Twitter, CLNS Patriots page, and CLNS Media, all on Twitter. That's where all the videos are going to be. CLNS Media Patriots Roundtable, Nick Qualia, Mike Molyneux, Alex Barth. We'll talk to you guys soon.